The first time I touched a gun, I hit the bullseye from 600 meters away, but I was permanently banned from touching weapons on the day of awakening. Not only was the armory locked down to me 24/7, even toy guns were listed as forbidden items. The activation condition guiding me was actually to fire 100 million bullets. Because of this, the instructors took turns trying to persuade me to give up this profession. Even the military big shots believed this was an impossible mission, and I could only hole up in the school for 5 years, refusing to graduate, because only the school's virtual training room could be used by me. And today, I have fired 99,999,999 bullets, with only the last one remaining. At this moment, I took a deep breath, picked up the machine gun next to me, and frantically swept it at the shooting wall for 5 whole years. In this world invaded by games and full of monsters, only 30% of all adults have the probability of awakening a profession. Every year, thousands upon thousands of awakeners die on the battlefield. It's conceivable how thick-skinned I had to be over these 5 years to stubbornly refuse to graduate. Just then, a familiar mocking sound came from behind. Without turning my head, I knew that it was those few students in the school who had successfully changed professions who had come to watch again. Senior is pretending to work hard again. My younger brother is 2 years younger than you and is already attending a university for advanced professionals. You're still playing with toy guns here. A boy with dyed yellow hair said sarcastically. I ignored him and continued to focus on shooting. For these past 5 years, I've heard too many similar taunts. I've long learned to turn this noise into motivation. The last bullet was fired. Ding! Congratulations on completing the profession activation task. The system has tallied that you fired 100 million bullets during the profession activation period. You have achieved an unprecedented feat. Profession strength has been increased to the strongest. You have successfully activated the super god level profession, 9 Heavens Gunmaster. Profession talent, Mechanical Ascension. Active skill, Annihilation Ray. 18 bizarre energy rays with a diameter of 100 meters fall from the firmament. Attacks and locks onto enemies according to the user's will. All skills are awakening skills. Is this what it feels like to cheat? At this moment, I felt extremely happy and immediately set off to the Secret Realm Hall to participate in the graduation exam. The hall was bustling with noise. Countless newly promoted job changers came to challenge the graduation exam Secret Realm. The next session staff handled them without even looking up. But when I walked forward, the surroundings suddenly quieted down for a moment, followed by a burst of whispers. Isn't that Jiangchuan High School's good-for-nothing who has been held back for 5 years? He actually activated a profession? I thought he would be a mechanic his whole life. Just a gun master. It's not some rare profession. I ignored these discussions. I walked straight into the teleportation array. A flash of light passed, and I was teleported to the goblin's secret realm. This was a vast forest. In the distance stood a goblin castle. The other job changers around had already begun to team up to grind monsters. But no one was willing to team up with a good-for-nothing who had just activated a profession. However, it's just right for me to try out the power of my new skill. I walked to a high slope and used my thumb to measure the distance, eventually locking the target on the center of the goblin castle. Annihilation Ray. As the brief words fell, a violent energy fluctuation swept across the entire area. 18 energy pillars with a diameter of 100 meters descended from the sky, crashing down on the goblin castle. The energy pillars rotated and spread with a booming sound. Wherever it passed, everything was annihilated. The army of thousands upon thousands of goblins instantly dissipated. The surviving students fled in terror. And my experience bar soared like crazy. Ding! Congratulations, your level has been raised to level 41. Leveling up to 41 in one shot is awesome. Then, I activated the storage bracelet, instantly sucking in all the tens of thousands of pieces of equipment and props scattered all over the ground, along with that glittering golden SSS clearance rating token. And when I walked out of the collapsed secret realm, the entire hall was silent. Everyone looked at me with the eyes of a monster. The record board in the staff member's hand fell to the ground with a thud. SSS rating? The staff member stammered. How is this possible? At this time, the atmosphere in the Jiangchuan High School faculty office was somewhat delicate. Several teachers were gathered together discussing how to persuade me, this good-for-nothing who had been held back, to leave. I think he's just afraid of death. Letting him stay any longer will only affect our school's reputation. Yeah, we have to think of a way to make him drop out himself. Just then, the door to the office was pushed open, and I walked in. Teacher Chin, I want to apply for graduation. I gently placed the token which was carved with Cheek the Bai Hin Rong, Tone Then Bang Vang, Nain Hang Duok Dat Len Bon, Ba Chu SSS Choi Mat Tren, the Keen Siave and Fong Im Fang Fak. The teachers who were just talking so confidently a moment ago now had stiff expressions. SSS level clearance token? They gasped, their eyes changing from contempt to shock. Sorry, I was a bit lax in only getting this rating after being held back for so long. I sighed. As soon as these words came out, all the teachers turned pale, roaring inwardly. I ignored them and, after waving goodbye, left the school. With such amazing strength, university was no longer my first choice. Finally, I opened the skill interface. The skill tree on the panel slowly unfolded. The branches extending on the tree were filled with unique awakenings. I selected 2 new skills. 1. Aberrant Slaughter passive skill. All bullets have explosive effects. Snapping your fingers will cause the hit bullets to detonate completely. The explosive power is directly proportional to strength. Every 100 points of strength is equal to a pillar of heaven, with an additional effect of plus 100%. 2. Quantum Leap, movement skill. Step on the void, flash swiftly in the air, allowing for instant step, mid-air jumps, and super speed displacement. After the skill is activated, the body can be quantumized for 10 seconds, making it untargetable. And learning these 2 skills requires a full 200 million purple gold coins. But I wasn't flustered at all. I opened the trading house and put the tens of thousands of equipment items I just obtained in the Goblin Secret Realm. Almost everything was put on sale at a 10% discount. Almost instantly, my personal panel was flooded with emails of successful transactions, and my account balance soared to 340 million. After learning the skills, I immediately spent a large sum to purchase a complete set of legendary equipment that could turn the dual guns with infinite bullet characteristics into, with the blessing of a full set of equipment, my attributes experienced an unprecedented surge, and my strength reached an astonishing 2150 points. Heading to Black Eye Volcano, I was too lazy to use the teleportation array and directly activated quantumization. My figure transformed into a streak of light, instantly heading towards Black Eye Volcano, 200 kilometers away. Meanwhile, a group of newly graduated students were struggling to besiege a dozen monsters. They only saw a figure so fast it was a blur, streaking across their heads. The ripples of air created by his feet actually shattered the elite monsters. They had been fighting for so long. Damn! The big shot passed by and instantly killed the monsters. The students were dumbfounded, scrambling for the loot bestowed by the big shot. I quickly arrived at Black Eye Volcano. It was filled with level 60 monsters. As soon as I landed, a level 60 obsidian giant shot out lasers from its eyes, and the fire elementals were also spewing flames with enthusiasm. Dozens of attacks came from all directions, covering the sky and earth. I simply stood still. My body suddenly became illusory, like a ghost. All the attacks passed through my body, exploding into huge pits in the mountains behind. Quantumization, indeed quite interesting. After the 10 seconds of invincibility ended, I drew my dual guns from my waist. The monsters instantly sensed the threat of death, turning to flee. Too late. The dual guns in my hands spat out a rain of fire, instantly riddling the monster horde like a beehive. My experience bar jumped and I leveled up twice in a row, but I wasn't satisfied. Ordinary monsters were still too weak. I turned my gaze to the distant, massive volcano. There were 10 Lord-level bosses there. At this moment, a 100-person elite team on the verge of collapse inside the volcano was being besieged by tens of thousands of monsters. The 10 Lord-level visage beasts were displaying overwhelming power. Their strength had inexplicably surged, and they also possessed terrifying regenerative abilities. Retreat in circles. The team leader roared in despair, but it was too late. They were now completely surrounded. At this moment, a figure strolled in leisurely, casually twirling dual guns in his hand, as if strolling in his own backyard. Brother, leave quickly. This place has the Visage Lord's Sky Might domain. Once you enter, you can't escape using conventional methods. Quickly call for reinforcements. Someone shouted at me. I ignored them, and walked onto the battlefield amidst everyone's terrified gazes. The next second, I dashed into the monster horde like lightning. Bullets danced like a torrential rain, and my movements were as dazzling as a dance of death, spinning in the air and firing with both hands. The bullets precisely avoided friendly fire, turning the small monsters into sieves. Even the Lord-level visage beasts were hit and wailed. The 100-person team watched in stunned silence, seizing the opportunity to break out frantically. But the visage beast lord roared and activated a group resurrection. All the dead monsters instantly revived. The people who had just escaped shouted upon seeing this, "Brother, retreat quickly! These monsters can't be defeated." But I leaped up and landed on a protruding rock. Then I holstered my dual guns. "Aren't you guys going to get further away? Do you want to watch my art?" Everyone was stunned. I, facing the roaring monster army below, gently snapped my fingers. Art is explosion. In an instant, inside the bodies of all the monsters, The thousands upon thousands of bullets I had just implanted detonated simultaneously. The terrifying explosion, from the inside out, blasted the entire black smoke volcano into the sky. A huge mushroom cloud rose into the air. Ding! Congratulations! Your level has increased to 50. My experience bar exploded again, but I frowned deeply, because I discovered that not even one kill notification appeared for the 10 most important Lord-level monsters. Big shot, can I ask which guild you're from? We really owe you this time. Before the smoke from the explosion had dissipated, the male team leader led his team over to thank me. At least an elder from a big guild, right? Could it be the Mechanical Alliance? That's a top guild on the map. Now I know what a real marksman is. We archers are just little brothers compared to gun masters. The members of the team murmured. Suddenly, the ground shook violently again. The crater that had been blasted into a deep pit spewed out monstrous black energy. The 100-person team members felt a chill run down their spines as soon as they sensed this aura. They had almost been wiped out before because the monsters here were tainted with this strange black energy. And now, the source of the black energy appeared. With a rumble, a giant skull head, hundreds of meters tall, separated from the ground, surrounded by the souls of the visage beasts that had just died. It turned out you ruined my good deed. I take out my dual guns again. When everyone looks up and sees that, Kaine Tin V Cheek Dao Lao Mao Ngiosi Bich Kong Lo, Chan Hobong Chok Bun Run. Necromancer Knight Head Level 366, and all other attributes are question marks. The Ancient Spirit Lord's Necromancer Knight. After being beheaded, he is the Necromancer Knight's lost important head. It's over. Some people directly collapse to the ground. The Necromancer Knight is a terrifying existence that can rival national-level calamity beasts. I heard that generations will join forces to encircle and suppress him. It took the 6 elders of the necromancers to kill him. Who would have thought that his head would be hiding here and causing all the monsters in the area to mutate? At this moment, the eye sockets of the skull are burning with ghostly flames. Prepare to die. A roar shook the ground, and everyone's eardrums ached. With a wide-open mouth, endless darkness instantly devoured Fong Yuanqin, and the entire Black Rock City was shrouded in sudden darkness. Residents fell into panic. At this time, on the city wall, a middle-aged man with a full beard frowned tightly, staring intently into the distance. The Necromancer Knight skills, wasn't he already eliminated? And he is the current city lord of Black Rock City. At this moment, his heart is full of unease. If it's really the resurrection of the Necromancer Knight, he can't stop it with his strength. A little interesting, there are actually remnants of undead monsters that escaped to our place. Suddenly, an old voice sounded behind him. The city lord turned his head sharply, and found an old man in a Taoist robe, gazing into the distance with his hands behind his back. Old city lord, aren't you in seclusion to break through to 6th grade? The middle-aged city lord quickly stepped forward to salute, his tone respectful. The old man stroked his goatee and said with a smile, "The light spirits are already knocking on the door. What seclusion is there?" Then he paused and ordered in a deep voice, "Just to be safe, you quickly contact the nearby cities. Class changers and request support." The scene returns to the Black Rock volcano area. A blood-red moon hangs high in the sky. The necromancer head opened its huge mouth and let out a deafening roar. It's over. These monsters are stronger than before. The 100 Yuan squad's faces are ashen. They can't even break the defenses of ordinary lava beasts. Now, facing the undead's enhancement, they have absolutely no chance of winning. 2 lava beasts stomp down with 1 foot, and the ground within 10 kilometers instantly cracks. Countless ghostly fire pillars soar into the sky. The crowd behind is blown away by the shock wave. Miserable screams rise and fall. Their conditions have not recovered, and they can't withstand this level of attack at all. But the necromancer head didn't stop. It opened its huge mouth and devoured the souls of the weak monsters around it, all merging. Under the convergence of countless terrified souls, a terrifying elite evil spirit, Kuanghuan, takes shape. Insan lowly elite monster, level 60. A lowly Kuanghuan holding a red paper umbrella and wearing a black Lolita dress descends. The lowly Kuanghuan descends. She licks her lips, and her crimson pupils flicker with dangerous light. This is a disaster. Everyone almost cursed it out loud. These attributes are even more perverted than the Bitman Spirit Lord monster. Where is that gun master Big Shot? The female fighter in the team looks around anxiously. Now, the only one who can save them is that mysterious Big Shot, and I'm just nonchalantly spinning my gun, with a faint smile on the corner of my mouth. The more monsters the necromancer head summons, the happier I am. After all, these are all free experience and equipment. Humans, as long as you beg me, I can consider taking you as a slave. Insan lowly tilts her head and examines me with interest. She can feel the powerful karmic aura on my body. This makes her very interested. A slave? I scoff. You have quite the taste. As long as you catch some humans for me to eat every day, and by the way, lick my feet clean. I curl my lip in disdain. This is the king of verbal proficiency. Everyone is dumbfounded. After all, ordinary gunners mainly rely on skill output. Who would specially practice hard accuracy? At this moment, the necromancer head roars. So angry that no one can move, it condenses a sun-like dazzling ball of light in its mouth. I calmly raise my thumb, measuring the required distance. Destruction ray, tyrant eagle descent. A pillar of light descends from the sky. The necromancer head, over level 300, is instantly pierced through like paper. The darkness quickly recedes, leaving the old city lord of Black Rock City and the current city lord, who rushed over, to stare at each other in dismay. That monster that released the domain has been solved. The old city lord's cloudy eyes are full of shock, and at this moment, I'm in the distance, counting the spoils of war. Obtained legendary item Myriad Souls Imprisonment. Obtained Brave Class Equipment Undead Shield. Then, with a tap of my toe, Quantum Leap activates. My figure disappears in an instant. Just now, the old city lord's pupils shrink. With his strength, he can barely see the style of the young gunner. Senior, what's wrong? The middle-aged city lord asks in confusion. There's nothing, go check the situation first. When they arrive at the scene, the 100-person team was still immersed in shock when a gunslinger raised his hand and extinguished that evil force. The leader excitedly reported, but found that I had already left. The old city lord gasped. So, the strong one of the Shunsa evil spirit was the young man I just saw. I didn't expect that we have this level of job change in our territory. On the other side, I came to the job transfer hall again. Hello, I want to take a second job transfer task. I handed the ID card to the twin ponytail girl at the front desk. Then the girl led me to the job transfer stele. I rubbed my hands, full of anticipation. After all, as long as the second job transfer is successful, you can learn more awesome skills and get 1,000 attribute points for free. Without any hesitation, I directly put my hand on the stele. The panel then popped up the requirements for the job transfer task. 1. Clear the level 60 secret realm witch forest with an SSS rating. Must reach SSS level requirement. 2. Win 100 consecutive matches in the ladder arena. I see. No wonder so many people are stuck in the second job transfer for a lifetime. The SSS level rating alone is enough to dissuade a large number of people. 100 consecutive wins on the ladder is even more outrageous. But for me, these are not a problem. I easily accepted the task. In the twin ponytail girls, see you later. With a blessing, I calmly replied, thanks. My task is quite simple and won't take long. After saying that, I turned around and left, headed straight to the witch forest. As soon as I arrived, I easily put away the previous. The equipment that Black Eye Volcano exploded was all sold. The account balance soared to 1.1. I backhanded from the skill tree. With a little force, a new skill lit up, Thousand-Handed Cyber Guanine. The user summons the heavenly technology to create Cyber Guanine Mecha to fight. The mecha comes with powerful skills. After the user leaves the mecha, you can detonate its core energy at any time. Setting up, knocking on electronic wooden fish, opening Cyber Guanine. This is possible. My eyes are shining brightly. This can not only be used as a tank but also as a nuclear bomb. This is a man's romance. After learning, I plunged into the portal of the witch forest. As soon as I entered, thousands of harpy-like harpies screamed and pounced. It also attracted a large group of wolf demons. But I didn't even bother to lift my eyelids and directly activated the phasing state of Quantum Moonwalk. Letting the attacks pass through my body, the Cyber Mecha mode is activated. Countless mecha fragments appeared out of thin air and enveloped me, instantly forming a solemn and majestic mechanical thousand-hand Guanine. I sat in the cockpit, looking at the dozens of skill buttons on the console. I was so happy that I almost laughed. I controlled the Cyber Guanine. Using the simplest basic attacks, hundreds of mechanical arms tracked the huge monsters. I punched around wildly. The harpies, along with their sacrificed wooden planks, were deleted into scum. Groups of wolf demons were directly smashed into flesh paste. Ding! You dealt tons of damage. I exclaimed with satisfaction. So many arms attacking at the same time. If this were in Naruto, that would be a world-destroying ultimate move, Thousand Hands. But for me, sorry, it's just one of my means. In order to get the SSS rating, I had only one goal. That is the hot spring column in the deepest part of the secret realm. I drove this huge mecha like a road roller, rampaging in the witch forest and also alarming the other job changers in the secret realm. What the hell is that thing? Several teams of job changers in the depths of the secret realm. Looking at the golem Buddha in the distance, a strange creation of mecha, they were all frightened. Guanyin mecha? I have never heard of such a monster. Remember the news from Black Smoke City? An evil spirit just came out there. This Iron Guanyin. Isn't it also the same level of stuff? Look at the direction it's going, it's heading towards the secret realm boss. The floating dragon is coming. Are these two bosses going to fight, or are they going to join forces? Panic spread quickly, and these awakened people did not dare to neglect and immediately used emergency communication tools. Issued the highest level of alert to the outside world and sounded the shrill alarm sounded, and a communications officer rushed in a panic. Emergency rescue. Supreme Commander Xiao Jingdi's military commander, Commander Xiao, emergency rescue. An unprecedented mysterious lord, a celestial creature, appeared in the witch forest. Celestial creature? Hearing this, Xiao Jingdi's face sank. She immediately rushed to the rostrum and issued the shortest order to the tens of thousands of elite soldiers who had gathered urgently below. All soldiers above the second job change set off immediately. A statue appeared in the witch forest. This one. Tens of thousands of elite soldiers, mysterious pastoral paintings, quickly rushed to the witch forest. At this moment, I didn't know that I had been considered a tribe member, rampaging while only doing one thing. Driving my new toy, I finally saw the target at the very center of the forest. That festering, corrupted giant dragon. Without further ado, Wang Jian confronted the corrupted giant dragon. It spewed out a poisonous substance, instantly withering everything around. But that's completely useless against my celestial metal mech. Retreat. This is a family of awakeners responsible for this area. I originally wanted to take down this dragon boss, but ended up trapped in the cave. Now that I see an opportunity, I immediately took the chance to slip away. But before leaving, they saw someone with an unforgettable look in their eyes. The Cyber Guanyin mech treated it like swatting a worm, launching a volley of connected mobile artillery fire. Grabbing the corrupted giant dragon's tail, it swung left and right, slamming it into the ground repeatedly. The corrupted giant dragon was instantly smashed into minced meat, but relied on its dark and fierce strength to instantly recover. I originally wanted you to die and be reborn sooner, but you're quite resilient. From the cockpit, I shouted at the onlookers in the distance, even though they were still a bit stunned, but the princess under their feet ran incredibly fast. 30 seconds later, a huge explosion engulfed everything. The Cyber Guanyin's core energy installation transformed into a crimson flame kilometers long, blooming fiercely in the face of adversity. Congratulations! You have killed the corrupted giant dragon and received an SSS rating. The first stage of the class advancement quest is complete. I activated quantum camouflage, quietly appreciating this transport of explosion. The aftermath of the explosion was even a rich event. Congratulations! You have killed the corrupted giant dragon and received an SSS rating. The first stage of the class advancement quest is complete. I activated quantum camouflage, quietly appreciating this transport of explosion. The aftershock of the explosion even burst out of the secret realm entrance, stunning the 10,000-strong army that came to support, and others as well. By the time they rushed into the secret realm, they only saw a scorched wasteland. Even the equipment dropped by the monster was gone. By this time, I had already recovered all the loot and returned to Jiangchuan City. Preparing to start the second stage of the quest, 100 consecutive wins in the arena. Before preparing for the second stage of the quest, I sorted through the equipment dropped in the secret realm and casually replaced a few pieces of legendary mech armor with better stats. I opened the quest panel and the second class advancement requirement popped up. Achieve 100 consecutive wins in the latter arena. Failure midway means recalculating. As long as you lose once, you have to start over. I don't know which genius came up with this hardcore task. For others, it's basically a death sentence. After all, classes are mutually restrictive. No one can guarantee they can always win. But for me, whether it's an assassin or a warrior, they're all pushovers. But I still checked the rules online. Turns out it's quite interesting. For fairness, the arena hides the real identity of the participants. The matching range is nationwide, and you can even challenge multiple people, one person challenging a team of 10. Winning counts as 10 wins. This made my eyes light up. This feels good. After understanding the basics, I went straight to the downtown arena to participate. When I walked to the front desk, the staff enthusiastically processed my registration and then handed me a valuable arena nameplate worth 100,000 purple gold coins. This little thing can ensure that participants won't really die inside. At most, it's a 100% pain feedback. I took the nameplate and, without even looking at the EVE portal, walked straight to the most remote EV10 portal. Hey, you're going the wrong way. That's for challenging 10 people alone. the staff quickly reminded. And the people nearby were also whispering. I didn't go the wrong way. I waved my head and stepped into the portal without looking back. As the light flickered, I was transported to a pure white preparation space. Ding. Please choose an arena name. I thought for a moment and casually typed, Unrivaled. Ding. Match successful. Your opponents are the Dire Wolf Squad. On the other side, the entire Dire Wolf Squad was dumbfounded. They are at least a top-ranked team in the 60th level ladder. Their opponent this time is actually just one person. At the same time, this EV10 match instantly attracted countless viewers to flood into the live broadcast room. Mo Chao, a newbie dares to play EV10? And the opponent is Zhao Ritian's Dire Wolf Squad? That group of people deliberately stayed at level 60 without advancing to take the title. At least 99% of the audience bet on the Dire Wolf Squad. At this time, Zhao Ritian was also grumbling with displeasure. A gun master dares to challenge us? Is the matching system looking down on someone? Countdown complete. Both sides were transported to the arena stage, scattered and positioned. Zhao Ritian roared immediately. The Dire Wolf Squad instantly scattered, forming the most professional anti-gun master formation. And I just leisurely drew my dual guns and swept out a round of basic attacks at them. A basic attack as an opener? Is this kid kidding me? Zhao Ritian was amused. The audience also went from shock to ridicule. However, in the next second, I lightly snapped my fingers, remembering that gunmanship is also magic. Then those dozens of seemingly weak bullets, upon touching the members of the running wolf squad, transformed into dozens of crisis arrays. With a series of booms, the sky-filled flames engulfed the entire running wolf squad, eliminating all members. A flawless victory in the arena, a cumulative 10-win streak, left the entire live stream silent for 3 seconds. Then, the screen instantly flooded with messages. Is this really a gun master? Soon, the second match began. The opponent was a top 10 team from the Far East. New viewers, seeing the huge odds difference, frantically bet on the Far East squad. But the old viewers smirked and bet against them. The result was still the same. 3 seconds, a snap of the fingers, and a mushroom cloud. Ding! The Far East squad is eliminated. A flawless victory in the arena, a cumulative 20-win streak. New viewers, watching the earth-shattering explosion on the screen, almost dropped their jaws. They finally understood. The true meaning of truth lies within the range of fire. Next, the 8th strongest in the country, the 7th strongest. The world's 5th strongest, 3rd strongest, first place, the entire Pantheon squad eliminated. A flawless victory in the arena. A cumulative 100-win streak. I looked at my arena score, which had skyrocketed to 2,010,000. And the newly acquired Arena King title, along with the increase of 1,000 to all attributes. I nodded in satisfaction. Hee, I can get first place just by changing classes. Not bad. Then I returned to the class change hall. The twin-tailed girl was so shocked when she saw me that she stuttered. You've completed the task so quickly? It's not difficult, just one skill, I said with a smile, then went to submit the task for 10-fold rewards. 2 second-class job options appeared in front of me, Myriad Gunmaster and God Gunmaster, one versatile and one purely violent. I chose the former without hesitation. After all, technology is the future. Ding! Congratulations on changing to the Myriad Gunmaster. Gained 1,000 attribute points. Feeling the surging power within me, I opened the attribute panel. Strength has soared to over 4,800 tons. A bullet with the power of 48 tons of TNT. I can really use nuclear bombs as candy in the future. After completing all the formalities, I left the job change elevator. As soon as I got home, I heard the deafening sound of the TV coming from the living room. My lazy aunt was sprawled on the sofa without any decorum, eating snacks and watching dramas. I couldn't even bother to complain about why she didn't go to work. Anyway, the answer would be, I like being a freeloader. By the way, Aunt, I've activated my profession. I took the opportunity to explain. Jiang Xia paused with her hand holding the snack, then said leisurely, okay then. It's good that you activated it. Now that you're a class changer in a couple of days, you must go back to the old home. Take leave, I grumbled inwardly. After all, growing up, I never heard my parents mention this. Don't ask. You'll understand when the time comes. Jiang Xia said vaguely, by the way, what's the name of the profession you activated? Gun Master, I replied with a dark face, turning around and going into the kitchen to prepare a meal. As for such trivial matters as going to university, I didn't plan to tell her at all. While in the living room, Jiang Xia looked at my back, a curve forming on the corners of her mouth. Good kid. He's actually hiding something from me and wants to change the subject. A hint of curiosity flashed in her eyes. My aunt silently cast an information scan on me. If I turned around at this moment, I would definitely be shocked because no one would have thought that my lazy aunt was actually a super powerhouse with a level exceeding 700, and the world in her eyes instantly became data-driven, with the information of everyone on the street clearly displayed. But when her gaze fell on me, she only saw a blur. What the hell? I can't see through her information. Jiang Xia's pretty face was filled with disbelief, but she didn't believe in defeat. A faint blue light appeared in her eyes, using a more powerful super-level reconnaissance technique. Instantly, the network signals within a 10-mile radius were all interrupted. I, who was chopping vegetables, only noticed the range hood stopping with a snap, and Jiang Xia's expression completely changed from relaxed to solemn. Still can't do it, huh? Interesting. This kid probably changed to some incredible profession, or encountered some heaven-defying opportunity. And at dinner, Jiang Xia took out a pure black card from her bag and pushed it to me. Here, this was given by a friend. Consider this your aunt's payment for the years of meals. I was stunned, took the card, but was stunned after just one glance. It was a Mechanical Labyrinth Guild application card. Damn, I looked at her in shock. Aunt, what kind of background does your friend have? Ah, there are many people who are after your aunt. What is this little thing? Jiang Xia smiled smugly, and after eating dinner, I quickly went back to my room to study. But the information online surprised me even more. Not only is this Mechanical Labyrinth the top guild among the 3 major domestic guilds, but the member benefits are even more explosive. Most importantly, it's extremely supportive. For this reason, I made up my mind. I'll apply tomorrow. After all, it's a waste not to take advantage of this opportunity. The next morning, I was browsing the news, but then discovered that the headlines were all about myself. Shocked. A mysterious powerhouse's bullets are comparable to nuclear explosions. 100 consecutive victories. The entire internet is begging for the contact information of the peerless god. Bai Xiaotian became an asexual cyber guanyin. Suspected Star Realm Celestial Realm boss. I was instantly paralyzed. Even the video of me opening a mech was filmed, and I was mistaken by netizens as a monster running down from the Celestial Realm. With such a big commotion, I'm afraid more and more people will be watching me later. I still need to improve my strength as soon as possible to challenge. Before going out, I opened the number of skills unlocked after the second job advancement, and my eyes quickly locked onto 2 new skills. Eye of the Weather, a passive skill, can ignore levels and information concealment. View information on 1,000 targets, consumes 500 million Zijing coins. Bullet Time, can actively slow down the world in your eyes. The more mental power consumed, the higher the deceleration multiplier. Consumes 500 million Zijing coins. Damn, this passive skill is awesome. Isn't this bullet time just like in the Matrix? As long as I have enough mental power, I can turn light speed into gentleness. I didn't hesitate to spend my strength and learned these 2 god-tier skills. Immediately afterwards, I came to the Mechanical Mire City Guild branch. This is a huge mechanical castle. A group of celebrities and wealthy people who want to spend money to send their children in have already gathered at the door. And being the center of their attention are 2 arrogant guild guards. I'm too lazy to wait in line. I went directly to the door and took out the black card my aunt gave me from the storage bracelet. The 2 guards, who were originally extremely arrogant, instantly turned respectful when they saw the card. They personally led me in, and I easily entered the interior of the castle, enjoying SVIP treatment that no other newcomer had. But I also started to wonder. This card my aunt gave me seems to be quite popular. In the subsequent mission hall, I directly ignored those ordinary missions. Next is the highest difficulty S-level mission. Go to the northeastern border to resist the evil spirit invasion. Since I'm gonna play, I'll play big. I took the temporary identity card and turned around. Walked towards the teleportation array. Soon, I was teleported to the border city of Mo City. As soon as I landed, I felt the smell of gunpowder smoke in the air. The huge blue light screen outside the city was being frantically attacked by monsters. The energy ripples were constantly spreading, obviously temporarily strained. And after being teleported to the border city of Mo City, I quickly found a station in Mechanical Mire City. More than 20 young people who came to do missions had already gathered inside. One of the guys wearing a blue mage robe waved enthusiastically after seeing me. Brother, you also took the task of resisting the evil spirit invasion. Come, let's chat over here. I nodded and walked over. Casually asked about the specific mission, and a sneaky-eyed young man complained. We have to escort a batch of supplies to the front line. About an hour to depart. I'm telling you, there are monsters everywhere outside the city now. And as soon as you leave the city, you will be shrouded in the leader monster's celestial might. At that time, any storage bracelet teleportation props all have to fail. We can only rely on our lives to deliver it. I don't know which genius came up with this ghost setting. And another guy who looked quite clever looked me up and down and then asked, by the way, Brother, what's your name? Which combat academy did you graduate from? My name is Yi Gung. Just a wild card not worth mentioning. I just replied casually. As soon as the words fell, the originally enthusiastic atmosphere instantly cooled down. These people are all graduates of top domestic combat universities. Even if they're not, they're scions of well-known families. Hearing that I'm a wild card with no background, although they didn't say anything, their eyes showed alienation. But I didn't care at all. I found a spacious corner to sit down and began to close my eyes and rest. Then, the door of the station was pushed open. A tall female paladin with a frosty face walked in. As soon as she appeared, the air in the entire station seemed to freeze. Everyone's eyes were instantly attracted to her. The scene immediately caused a commotion. I took a closer look and was directly stunned. Holy crap, why does this girl look exactly like a younger version of my aunt? That face, those captivating eyes, are simply carved from the same mold. It's just in terms of temperament. The woman in front of me exudes an aura of no strangers allowed, which is completely opposite to my aunt's carefree personality. Sister Zhang Ling. I'm from the school next to yours. I lost to you in 3 moves in last year's 100 Schools League. Do you remember me? A young man approached with a flattering tone. Others also copied, wanting to get close. But the ice-cold beauty just replied coldly, "Don't remember," then ignored everyone. But everyone didn't care about her indifference, still surrounding her. After all, she is the granddaughter of a high-level elder of Mechanical Mire City, the pride of the Jiang family in the imperial capital. If it weren't for the guild's rule that direct relatives must also pass, they would never have the opportunity to talk to such a high-level figure in their lives. "Hey, why are you staring at me?" Jiang Linglong noticed my gaze in the corner. Said in a bad tone. Everyone's eyes suddenly focused on me. Sister Lin Long is really too beautiful. A noisy guy next to me kindly helped me out, afraid that I, a wild card, would offend someone I shouldn't. But I bluntly said, "You look a lot like someone I know." Hearing this, everyone was speechless. What is he doing? Your way of flirting is too old-fashioned. Jiang Linglong frowned slightly, but saw that my eyes were clear and didn't seem frivolous. Then he snorted coldly and didn't bother arguing. Soon it was time to depart. Our group escorted 20 camel-sized Tuoshan beasts out of the city. As soon as we entered a giant forest full of dangers, hundreds of fierce beasts swarmed from all directions. Everyone immediately drew their weapons and entered the battle. While that narcissistic guy was still struggling with an elite monster, I pulled out my dual pistols and began to sweep relentlessly. Pew pew pew. With every gunshot, a monster fell straight to the ground. Then, unsurprisingly, I aimed for their most vulnerable eye sockets and throats. Hey brother, your marksmanship is awesome. It's better than those of us who came from formal training. The narcissistic guy praised. It's all right. My skills aren't great, so I can only work hard on basic attacks. But the truth is, every basic attack of mine has 100% armor penetration true damage. Hitting these thick-skinned monsters is really as easy as cutting tofu. Just then, Nino sun dung byuk, fia truok zut hien nam na ri, mwana dan den mot hung kok now. Everyone immediately started arguing, debating which road to take. But I quietly activated the weather veil, instantly taking in the situation at the end of all 5 roads. Only the road right in the middle was safe. The other 4 roads were ambushed by evil demons preparing for a feast. I pretended to take a few breaths, and then said in a profound tone, "I just smelled the air. The road right in the middle smells the cleanest. The others all have a bloody smell." "No way, brother. You even have this talent?" The narcissistic guy was stunned again. And although the others questioned it, after Jiang Linglong said, "Listen to him. Stop talking nonsense," everyone still chose the middle road. As a result, the journey was smooth and unimpeded. We didn't even encounter a ghost. For the next few crossroads, I used this so-called God-level sense of smell to lead everyone to perfectly avoid all the deadly traps. And as we were about to reach the front line, the violent explosions and shouts of killing were already deafening. The scene before our eyes made everyone gasp. The front line had been breached by a tidal wave of Yuanyu and monsters, quickly evacuating. "Disperse!" the guild member leading the team roared. Jiang Linglong took the lead, huge power unfolding behind him, transforming into a golden lightning bolt that charged into the battlefield. My heart stirred, and the weather veil quietly activated. Jiang Linglong's character information instantly became clear to me, 4th tier peak. No wonder this guy is so arrogant. Turns out he really does have some skill. You have to know that the further along you go with class advancement, the harder it gets. The transition from 3rd to 4th tier is a chasm. It has killed off a large group of heroes and good men, because the 4th tier task is no longer just a test of combat power. It often involves understanding the laws of the world, or requires the completion of certain epic events. The difficulty can be described as hellish. And he can do it at the age of college graduation. He really must be the illegitimate son of a top guild elder. At this moment, Jiang Linglong on the battlefield held up a golden giant sword. Dozens of buff auras bloomed under his feet. Half-moon-shaped golden sword energy flew out by the hundreds and thousands, slashing and killing the Yuan monsters in swathes. He can even summon a heavenly fortress. In the background of the Hallelujah anthem, he bombarded the monsters with unlimited firepower. Wow, the battle even comes with BGM. This guy is really showing off. I twirled my dual pistols and closely followed him into the battlefield. But don't let those previous efforts fly by. Every bullet accurately hit vital points, reaping massive experience. Level 68, level 69. After leveling up 2 more levels, mechanical fish with levels from several tens to 200 kilometers away also joined the battlefield. They are natural snipers and can burst out of their mouths with ultrasonic fish bone cannons that are hard to defend against. In just an instant, rows of fish bone cannons accurately locked onto Jiang Linglong, who was the most dazzling on the field, wielding weapons with built-in skeletal armor. Seeing that he was about to be torn apart by the dense firepower. Crap! Jiang Linglong thought with a start. Just at this critical moment, I activated bullet time. The whole world instantly slowed down 100 times in my eyes. Those extremely fast fish bone cannons were now as slow as snails swimming in the air. Pew pew pew. I raised my dual pistols and shot accurately at those flying fishbone cannons. Every bullet accurately collided with the fishbone cannons, exploding into clusters of energy sparks. How is this possible? Jiang Linglong's pupils shrank sharply as he looked at me in disbelief. Using bullets to intercept supersonic bullets? Is this marksmanship that humans can achieve? Why are you staring at me? I asked lightly. Isn't this my line? Jiang Linglong's pretty face blushed. Remembering the same words I had said to myself when we first met, I felt both ashamed and surprised. After resolving all the attacks, I casually raised my hand and started shooting continuously in the direction of the mountain 10 kilometers away. Those guys are very far away. Your bullets can't hit them at all, Jiang Linglong reminded me, because he didn't know the specific location of the enemies either. It's okay, let the bullets fly for a while. After I just smiled mysteriously, I casually found an excuse to get away, turning into an afterimage and disappearing into the battlefield. Of course, I wasn't going after those small fry snipers. My only target was the final boss who caused all this chaos. Not even a few seconds after I left, with just a light snap of my fingers, the violent explosion of nearly 500 tons of TNT 10 kilometers away brought back memories of today. Those dozens of crocodile snipers, along with the hilltop they were on, were blown to smithereens, while I had already crossed tens of kilometers of battlefield, arriving in the skies above this core area. The scene before me made me couldn't help but adjust. The foremost front line, where a mechanical monster as large as a skyscraper was wielding a dozen metal limbs, frantically lashing at the battlefield. Each of its strikes was accompanied by cracks in the earth and distortions in space. Around it, dozens of powerful high-level Dragon Country experts were being forced into a continuous retreat. Monster information. Name: Corrupted Mechanical Koenig. Level: 400. Attack: 163,319.2. The mechanical Koenig's hull opened up, and tens of thousands of thick laser beams poured down like a torrential rain, plowing the earth into scorched trenches. A dozen high-level mechanics roared, slamming their hands onto the ground. A dozen giant energy reflection screens appeared out of thin air, attempting to reflect the laser beams back, but the range of the millions of laser beams fired was too vast. Our quantum reflection skills can't hold. However, the mechanical Koenig merely swung its 2 limbs savagely, striking the reflection screens hard. The sound of shattering glass instantly rang out, and the dozen reflection screens instantly shattered into a sky full of light. The dozen mechanics were sent flying by the violent shockwave. Don't clash head-on. Sever its limbs. Otherwise, we won't be able to get close. An elder with white hair and beard, wearing the robes of a mechanic guild elder, roared, "Move!" The 60-odd experts understood and unleashed their strongest skills. For a moment, sword energy crisscrossed and thunder dragons roared. Giant fireballs and ice cones intertwined into a river of skills, dazzling with color, and slammed heavily into the mechanical Koenig's limbs. Move! The 60-odd experts understood and unleashed their strongest skills. For a moment, sword energy crisscrossed and thunder dragons charged. Giant fireballs and ice cones intertwined into a river of skills, dazzling with color, slammed heavily into the mechanical Koenig's limbs. Under the combined activation of everyone, the mechanical Koenigs, several giant limbs were forcibly severed. Well done! The crowd had just seen a glimmer of hope. But the next second, the mechanical Koenig's body was wrapped in dazzling electricity. Those shattered mech pieces instantly flowed back and recombined, growing new mechanical limbs. The newly formed limbs carried an even stronger wind pressure, severely lashing at the crowd. Several job changers were unable to dodge and were instantly sent flying with broken bones. This beast can regenerate limbs. All the experts present felt their hearts turn to ashes. They hadn't expected it to not only possess a body of steel, but also retain the most disgusting regenerative ability of a corrupted creature. Someone watched Koenig begin to move toward the city behind them and shouted in despair, "No! This monster wants to massacre the city." And at this moment, the elder of the Mechanic Guild gasped for breath, his fists clenched, his eyes filled with anger. This corrupted creature originally appeared within the borders of the cold country, but they used special items to drive it all the way, forcibly pushing it to the borders of our dragon country. Those guys are trying to use a knife to kill someone. They want to use these monsters to deplete our strength. More than just the cold country, a general-like expert next to him said with hatred. Those small countries in Southeast Asia, and the Ingdao country across the sea, all have the shadows of the Ingjiang country behind them. They don't dare to confront us head-on, so they use this pack of wolves tactic from the long borders, constantly creating trouble for us, making it impossible for our high-level combat power to concentrate. Everyone, hold on and clear a path for me. I don't believe I can't kill this Koenig even if I self-destruct. A trace of determination flashed in the elder's eyes. No, if you sacrifice yourself, it will fall right into their trap. Just as everyone was sinking into despair and grief, someone suddenly pointed to the sky and shouted in a trembling voice, "Look up there." Everyone subconsciously looked up, only to see in the dark night sky a huge object radiating a sacred and majestic aura rapidly falling. It was a Sai country thousand-armed guanyin several hundred meters tall, carrying unparalleled might, whistling down from a height of 10,000 feet, and I was standing in that highest sky, overlooking all of this. I had already issued the auto-combat command to the Sai country guanyin. At this moment, the Sai country guanyin was like a god descending to earth, smashing the invincible mechanical Koenig to the ground with one palm, crushing it to pieces. The terrifying shockwave sent everything around it flying. When the dust settled, my Sai country guanyin stood tall in the center of the battlefield, stepping on the wreckage of the mechanical Koenig. Holy crap, isn't that the Sai country guanyin from the news? How is it alive again? Who cares? It seems to be here to help us. Mo City is saved. The remaining experts were both surprised and delighted. But the next second, under the control of that blue corrupted little person in the mechanical Koenig's brain, it actually began to reassemble once again. The Sai country guanyin's electronic eyes flashed with red light, as if provoked by this little bug. It directly waved its thousands of cold mechanical arms, launching a frenzied barrage against the mechanical creature that had just begun to reassemble. As soon as the mechanical Koenig's tentacles emerged, they were grabbed and torn apart by the guanyin's arms, and its laser beams, striking the guanyin's golden body, couldn't even cause a ripple. The job changers in the distance watched, their blood boiling, cheering wildly. Finally, that corrupted little person was afraid. Realizing that the deity before it was something it could not shake, it let out a shrill scream. Controlling the remaining core body, it turned around and fled towards the cold country without looking back. Good running. That's what I wanted. I grinned as I watched this scene unfold. Meanwhile, in the tactical command building of the cold country, a general was lecturing his subordinates triumphantly. The trouble on the dragon country border is our best gift to the image country. I can almost see the fireworks of victory. However, before the sound faded, a shocking power burst forth, shaking the entire building violently. The general's expression changed drastically, and he rushed out into the heavy rain, only to see the border of their country. A gigantic fire spirit of destruction was rampaging back and forth. You have killed level 400 mechanical guest angle, gaining 14904627 experience points. Congratulations, your level has increased to 130. You have met the level requirement for job advancement. Please quickly go to the job advancement hall to perform your third job advancement. Awesome, we felt incredibly refreshed, and conveniently swept up all the spoils of war from the battlefield. We quietly returned to the rear camp, and by the time we returned to the border camp, the battle was already nearing its end. After the biggest threat, the mechanical octopus, was taken down, the remaining monsters were just like cutting melons and vegetables to the other guild experts. The guild leader announced loudly, "The border crisis is resolved. Congratulations to all of you for passing the guild entry assessment." Thunderous cheers erupted on the scene, celebrating this group of chosen ones capable of defeating powerful monsters. They still couldn't believe that they had actually successfully joined the top guild in the country, believing in the great god Cypher Crown. The mechanical ruins were complete, and many people were even expressing gratitude from the bottom of their hearts towards the direction of the earlier explosion. They knew in their hearts that if it weren't for that amazing mech beating up the mechanical octopus, they might have been finished here today. And the moment I returned to the crowd, almost all eyes were focused on me, and the narcissistic guy was the first to rush up. He slapped me on the shoulder and said, "Bro, you're finally back." We were all worried, after experiencing a life-and-death battle, especially knowing that I was trying to comprehend something. The brave world of covert sniper, I explained, but looking at the reactions of these people. I secretly breathed a sigh of relief. Now I can finally rightfully use guild resources to do the job advancement quest. In the future, grinding dungeons for equipment will also have guild aura bonuses, so cool. Just as everyone was chattering and praising, Jiang Linglong walked over. She bit her lip lightly, her cheeks slightly red. Looking at me with a complicated expression, "Bro, come with me for a moment." She called me aside, and looked at me with red eyes and wandering gaze, while a group of gossiping paparazzi were crowding at the entrance. Their eyes were almost popping out. Do you understand? Peeking at them, the crowd suddenly became excited. "Old bro is too miserable, the budding romance was nipped in the bud, you're overthinking it." I frowned with a questioning look. "You're still pretending to be dumb?" Jiang Linglong's brow furrowed even tighter. "Although I'm very grateful for you saving me, but..." She hadn't finished her sentence. I suddenly reacted, "No, you've got the wrong idea." I explained with a wry smile, "In my heart, I've always respected you like I would my aunt." Jiang Linglong took a step back in shock. Her gaze towards me changed a little. "You have a thing for your aunt? I'm telling you, if you don't believe me, you can look at the photos." I took out my phone to prove my innocence. And after Jiang Linglong heard my explanation, her whole body shuddered, and then, an indescribable sense of shame and indignation rushed from the soles of her feet straight to the top of her head. "I'm sorry. I was too narcissistic. It's all my fault. Don't say anymore." Without even looking at my phone, she turned around in shame and indignation, and flew away like a streak of light. "You should at least look at the photos first." I was left holding my phone, bewildered in the wind. Afterward, we, the new recruits, all received official guild identity badges. However, I didn't linger for long, and went straight to the job advancement hall to start my third job advancement quest. As I placed my hand on the job advancement steel, the quest popped up, Job Advancement Quest. Quest 1, National Fortune Amplification, kill the top disaster spirit in the Storm Cage Tower. Quest 2, Guide Newbies, bring at least one low-level player to proficiency. Damn, this third job advancement quest is already tied to the national fortune so quickly. You need to know that killing disaster spirits increases the national fortune, which can bring good weather to the country, just like the forest longevity that refreshes during Dragon Country's New Year. It is a special kind of disaster spirit. As for bringing newbies, I didn't take it to heart at all. First, conquer the disaster spirit. I sold all the previously reported equipment, and directly put on a set of level 130 legendary gear. And a low-level unlimited bullet pistol and a limited bullet gun. The account balance directly soared to 1.8 billion, and then backhanded from the skill tree. Lit up a unique skill with a passive effect, Supernova Nuclear Explosion passive. Unlimited guard, using various attribute technological skills in hand, the rules increase with the improvement of your entire mech. Actively casting an awakening skill will throw a Supernova Nuclear Explosion satchel, triggering a Supernova Big Bang. Although the Supernova Nuclear Explosion cannot produce the power of a true planetary explosion, it is enough to set off a Big Bang surpassing ordinary skills. I feel like a walking arsenal. Comes with a passive which is quite useful. Then, he teleported with satisfaction to Fortune Fortress, where the Calamity Tower is located. On the other side, in Dragon Insect Community, Jiang Xie was lying on the sofa, cracking sunflower seeds while scrolling through trending topics. 100 years? I'm still king. Seeking contact information for unparalleled powerhouses. A powerful class comparable to the Sky Citadel War Camp debuts. Another historical job change is about to be born. White Withered Sky City's new line of cyber guanine, suspected of being a new type of heavenly treasure, Ru Shuang. Besides my big nephew, no one else would use such a corny ID. Jiang Xie curled her lips, but her heart was calm. After all, this kid's bloodline is extraordinary. His grandfather, Shen Gongjing, is an eternal new god with a level as high as 950-something, able to summon a dragon supergiant star larger than the sun to block weapons. His maternal grandfather, Jiang Wanyao, is the cyber ancestor with a level also in the 950-somethings. He can create a mechanical dead star in outer space as a marble. His parents are the eldest children of two major families. As long as this kid doesn't have bad luck and become an Adu, what kind of bad profession could he end up with? It's just this activation quest. Does it have to take 5 years? The salted fish is about to mold. Just then, Jiang Xie's communicator rang. It was the vice president of the Mechanical Labyrinth Guild calling. "Xie, have you seen it? That 9 Heavens gun master has appeared. From the other end of the phone came the vice president's excited voice. These top forces have been investigating the game that merged with Earth. According to the historical fragments they obtained, they knew that god-tier classes existed in this world. Every generation has its own god. They have already experienced the Heavenly Saint Revival and the All Things Silent Curse eras. And now it's the turn of this version's answer, the 9 Heavens gun master. This god-tier class is closely related to firearms and mechanical classes. Don't worry, I'll check it out, Jiang Xie said calmly, already guessing it was 99% likely. How's that kid doing? Did he change his job? The vice president asked again. All right, Jiang Xie said, hanging up the call directly. Don't let those 800 nosy eyes of the guild know about Xiao Gung's matter yet. However, she was pretty sure that the so-called 9 Heavens gun master was her big nephew who liked to change the subject. She picked up her tablet. Another new notification popped up. A fierce battle broke out on the border of Hanling, suspected to be related to the Cyber Guanyin. The mechanical labyrinth is responsible for guarding the end city. The hardest task to join is to go there. This monster couldn't have been created by that kid, right? Looks like I have to go to the nearest mechanical labyrinth branch. I don't believe I can't find out where you've been by checking the permissions. World-class powerhouses, half of them are in Curry, the nation, the rest are in the 5 federal nations. Understanding world-class powerhouses as being similar to nuclear weapons in their respective eras makes it easier to understand. Outside Death Heaven City, Calamity Tower. The ancient tower was built in the center of the ruins of the early destroyed ancient city. The towering Calamity Tower extends towards the sky like a pillar supporting the heavens. The dark tower top is submerged in clouds. This ancient tower, filled with monsters, has a total height of 1,000 meters. It has 99 floors. Job changers entering the tower will enter a secret realm similar to a small world on each floor. This tower can only be entered during the day. If you stay in the tower at night, you will be automatically expelled from the tower. The Calamity Tower refreshes with different types of monster lords every day. The Calamity Beast at the top floor will increase in strength accordingly, based on the number and level of challengers. Joining the guild is convenient. Even the specific information of such a map is available. The protagonist's name is Suzhou. Suzhou in hand is holding a booklet about the Calamity Tower's information. He is now initially enjoying the benefits of the guild. Not only was the teleportation array free when he came, but he can also receive a booklet recording the information of the Calamity Tower for free when he wants to go to a certain map to grind monsters. Anyway, it's just a matter of going all out with awakening skills when the time comes. Suzhou stepped forward and quickly arrived at the tower entrance. In front of him, a circular light curtain door appeared. Passing through this door, Suzhou arrived at a vast area like a desert. Except for the top floor, the monsters in the Calamity Tower refresh quickly. Looking around, it's densely packed with monsters. Damn, no wonder it's where the Calamity Beasts stay. The monster refresh rate must be a large wave every half a minute. You can't kill them all. These monsters, I'll just kill them on the first floor. The monsters on the first floor aren't strong. The monsters on the later floors, it's even stronger. How terrifying was the strength of the people who rushed to the top of the tower before. Many job changers want to rush to the tower, and are fighting hard to kill the surrounding 60-odd monsters. Boom boom boom, swoosh swoosh swoosh, bang bang bang. All around are the lights of various skills and the roar of explosions. The level of the monsters here is too low and too weak. Suzhou doesn't even need to take action. Bullet time. Suzhou's eyes closed and then opened. All the skills and monsters. In his eyes, it seemed to be slowed down 100 times. He put his hands in his pockets. Leaping high, running the leap step, his movements are elegant. Like flowing water, shuttling between various monsters and skills. Many job changers, looking at the black-clothed gunman passing by easily, their expressions were shocked. Many times, between the monster and the job changer skills colliding, Suzhou just traveled through the only gap between the two. Extreme danger and elegant steps. Everyone who saw the person traveling closely through the monster crowd discovered that the latter's expression only had a rock-steady calm. Holy crap, what kind of positioning is this? Is he even human? I'm an archer. I just released 1,000 arrows skill. That black-clothed gunman actually passed through my swarm of arrows unscathed. I have watched a lot of footwork and positioning tutorial videos before. No one is as smooth as this big shot. Today I finally know what it means to be like entering an unpopulated land. If this were on the battlefield, this big shot would definitely be able to easily break through the enemy's defenses and take the head of the general. Pressure lock. This brother playing Yasuo can definitely use seamless combos to the extreme. Many job changers looked at the ultimate show of skill with palpitations, passing through a field of flowers without a leaf touching the body. It was displayed vividly. Suzhou relied on bullet time and quantum leap step. Passing through the monster horde, he rushed to the tower like a rocket. First floor, second floor, third floor, 47th floor, 48th floor, 49th floor. Suzhou quickly passed through layer after layer of the Calamity Tower. The moment the monsters reacted, they realized that the human had already reached a new floor. Every team that was fighting monsters hard and pushing up the tower little by little was shocked. They entered the Calamity Tower early in the morning to farm monsters. They've been farming until now and are only on the 49th floor. As a result, the black-clothed gunman who suddenly appeared simply ran to the 50th floor as easily as eating and drinking. Is there any humanity left? Is there any justice? 50th floor of the Calamity Tower. Suzhou quickly cleared half of the Calamity Tower. This seems to be the dividing point inside the tower. On the 50th floor, there are no longer dense masses of ordinary monsters. This floor is full of elite monsters, but the number is no longer so large. I just wanted to farm some experience on the 55th floor. I don't want to rush to the tower. Please let me go. A man's miserable cry came. Suzhou's eyes brightened. He found a male thief wearing a thief's attire being chased by a dragon knight. The dragon knight's eyes shone with fighting spirit. The dragon under him spat out. A gust of cold wind immediately froze the opponent's ankles. The thief was caught up by the dragon knight just like that. It's your luck to be noticed by our Mad Strike Guild. In the Calamity Tower, you have to cooperate even if you don't want to. The dragon knight opened his mouth to the thief man with a fierce look on his face. He chased him from the 55th floor to here and finally caught this cannon fodder. There's no such thing as cooperation with you guys. How can you let us second job changers charge at the front? And your guild's experts are in the back? You just want to grab cannon fodder. The thief male player opened their mouths unevenly. The other party's guild, in order to rush to the tower and kill disaster beasts, has already set its sights on them, individuals with weak strength. Suzhou glanced at the two people arguing not far away, just as he was about to concentrate on rushing to the tower to do the job change task. That dragon knight man stopped him. Hey you, the gunman profession. You're also preparing to rush to the tower, right? The dragon knight adjusted the golden helmet on his head and said solemnly. He recognized at a glance that Suzhou was wearing valuable second job gunmaster equipment. Yeah, what's wrong? Suzhou twirled the Hellfire modern handgun in his hand. He didn't plan to care about the other party's mess. The other party actually had the nerve to come to him. That dragon knight raised the round shield in his hand and said, since you're also here to rush to the tower, then join this thief. Cooperate with our Mad Strike Guild. By the way, you have no chance to refuse. Just as the man finished speaking, for more Mad Strike Guild members rushed down from the upper levels. They were slower than their partner, the Dragon Knight, so they were a step behind. Brother Long Shao, you're reliable at the crucial moment. The four saw the Dragon Knight capture the fleeing cannon fodder, their faces filled with joy. You two come with us. The Dragon Knight and his companions breathed a sigh of relief. With their current strength, if they tell these two noobs to go east, they definitely won't dare go west. So you guys have backup. Alright, let's go then. Suzhou heard that this group had accomplices. His principle has always been to deal with anyone who provokes him by eliminating them all. You're quite shrewd, kid. Ha 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 ha. The 5 Mad Strike Guild members were very satisfied with Suzhou's performance. Then, they cleared the obstacles of monsters along the way and flew to the 55th floor to gather with their companions. The rogue man sitting on the dragon's back had a face as pale as death. In contrast, Suzhou next to him was completely calm. This aroused the rogue man's displeasure. The rogue man lowered his voice and said, Big brother, we're gonna be cannon fodder to clear the way for others now. How can you still be so calm? He strongly suspected that the other party was ignorant of the seriousness of the situation. Suzhou heard this and showed a kind smile. Who eats who is not yet certain. Calamity Tower, 55th floor. There were nearly 100 Mad Strike Guild members, waiting for a long time. When they saw their partners returning, they revealed joy. The Dragon Knight man rode the 2-winged green dragon under his crotch and quickly reached his destination. Good, Long Shao did a great job. We can now safely clear the tower. The weak-looking man in the lead shouted. A dozen job changers were captured by the Mad Strike Guild to be cannon fodder. The strength of the job changers captured as cannon fodder was mostly at the second job change. And the third job change, the strength of the Mad Strike Guild members was considerably higher. Eye of Heaven activated. Suzhou looked at the Mad Strike members' character information. Name, Baijian, level, 280, Constitution, 17432. Strength, 22347, Spirit, 9090, Agility, 10432. Skills, Shield Bash, Fearless Impact, Taunt. Name, Feng Huangyu. Level, 288, Constitution, 23658, Strength, 14347. Spirit, 24390, Agility, 16432. Skills, Firefly Swarm Starfall. Flame Dragon Roar, Rippling Water Pattern Wave. Name Chosia. Level, 301, Constitution, 24346, Strength, 25309. Spirit, 12984, Agility, 19786. Skills, Wind Demon Cross Slash. Bloodthirsty Rage, Celestial Blade Divine Light Slash. There are still quite a few non-class change job changers. Suzhou checked the Mad Strike Guild members' information. A glimmer flashed in his eyes. These people want to use them as cannon fodder, keeping them in front to deplete the monster's strength. Then Suzhou will just let them see what it means to be counterproductive. You guys line up, stand properly, and go in first. The Mad Strike Guild members drove the captured cannon fodder forward, making these people stand at the forefront. A dozen men and women's faces were filled with unwillingness. But they still shuffled forward, complaining, "I knew I shouldn't have come to clear the tower today. Woo! I finally reached the 50th floor today, thinking I'd break my record. I didn't expect it to be my death date. I haven't even fought the monsters on the 55th floor yet. It's over, it's over." The job changers in the front row, prepared to be used as cannon fodder, were in low spirits. Their situation is like being a meat shield that must rush to the front line on the battlefield. These bandits clearly have the strength to deal with the monsters, but they force them to be cannon fodder in order to save their own stamina and spirit. Speaking. Good. The numerous elite monsters within the tower level smelled the scent of living people. The monsters' gazes all looked towards the approaching humans. Everyone in the front, pay attention. Charge. The equipment that drops is all ours. Those who retreat will be executed on the spot. The guild leader roared, driving the frontline job changers to resist the monsters. Only then did all the cannon fodder job changers reluctantly step forward to meet the monsters. Whoosh! A black figure in the front row rushed out first. Suzhou entered as if into an unpopulated land, pulled out the Hellfire infinite ammo dual guns, and frantically strafed all around. Bang 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 bang. The sounds of the infinite ammo guns instantly filled the entire battlefield. The 100% armor penetration of the aberrant slaughter passive made all the monsters' physical defense 0, dealing massive damage. It didn't take long for these monsters to fall one after another. Within this group of cannon fodder, there's actually such a strong job changer? The members of the Mad Strike Guild were overjoyed. They couldn't be happier with this kind of high-quality natural labor. Why be so desperate? The loot that drops all belongs to others. The job changers in the front row were even more dejected. The faster the monsters are killed, the more powerful the monsters they will face later. Wait, this kid took all the equipment and didn't leave a single piece for us. Damn it, this black-clad gunman has no intention of obeying orders at all. The members of the Mad Strike Guild, their eyes wide with rage, watched the equipment that belonged to them enter someone else's pocket. Suzhou quickly cleared the monsters in the area and prepared to advance to the next floor. Before he left, he even didn't forget to issue a taunt. This member, enraged, issued a kill order. They swarmed forward, chasing Suzhou relentlessly. Everyone, get up there. The monsters will respawn in a dozen seconds. After the 50th floor, there are elite monsters dropping good stuff. Damn it, he actually dares to steal our monsters. We must kill this gunman today. The Mad Strike Guild members roared angrily, closely following behind. They didn't even bother with the cannon fodder they had captured, only wanting to tear Suzhou into pieces. Run, let's run. Having gained a chance to catch their breath, the cannon fodder job changers hurriedly ran down towards the tower. We understand. Knowing the Mad Strike Guild's vindictive nature, if they catch the black-clad gunman later, they'll still find cannon fodder to replace them. While running downstairs, the crowd also called out to the job changers on the lower floors. Leave quickly. For a moment, the job changers on the 50th floor of the tower, hearing this news, quickly left the scene to avoid getting involved. On the 60th floor of the Calamity Tower, the pursuing members of the Mad Strike Guild encountered an attack of more than a dozen flame grenades. The scorching heat caused the guild members with weaker strength to issue miserable screams, chilling the others to the bone. Where did he get the grenades? How can there be such terrifying heat? The leader was greatly alarmed upon hearing this. He gritted his teeth in anger. That gunman is wearing second job change equipment and his level isn't high, but he's very rich. He probably bought some powerful item grenades. The Dragon Knight man still remembered the opponent's full set of legendary equipment. He had originally planned to rob the other party after exploiting him. Now he can't wait to send the other party to an early grave. Continue chasing. There must be a lot of good stuff in the storage bracelet on his body. The leader was greatly alarmed upon hearing this. He spat and then immediately led the crowd to chase Suzhou again. The Calamity Tower's floor numbers were constantly refreshed and climbed higher. 91st floor, 92nd floor, 93rd floor, 97th floor, 98th floor. The more the crowd chased, the more frightened they became. The floors they were chasing had far exceeded their expectations. They were almost chasing directly to the top floor of the Calamity. 98th floor. Is that gunman really a second job change? We didn't use appraisal skills to investigate before. But the equipment on this black-clad gunman is indeed of the second job change. Those in the field couldn't believe everything they were witnessing. They hadn't encountered any monsters along the way while chasing the black-clad gunman. This means the other party was killing the elite monsters in just over a dozen seconds each time. When did the monsters of the Calamity Tower become so easily dealt with by a second job change gunman? Roar. On the 99th floor, the roar of the Calamity Beast suddenly sounded. That kid is directly fighting the Calamity Beast alone. The members of the Mad Strike Guild stepped onto the entrance to the 99th floor. In their sight, a giant Kue Ox Calamity Beast with a body of 100 meters appeared. This Calamity Beast changes with the level of the challenger. The crowd threw out appraisal skills to investigate the monster's level and discovered the Kue Ox Calamity Beast's level was actually 130. This indeed proved that their judgment was correct. The black-clad gunman is a second-tier class changer, just waiting for you to come. Suzhou activates quantum form. A smile appears at the corner of his mouth. Others look at Suzhou. A bead slowly condenses from the fingertip of the other party's hand. A scorching existence like a heart. This heart is like a miniature sun, shining so brightly that people can't open their eyes. The power generated within the sun heart also changes like the sun. Everyone present is terrified. They realize that this sun heart is something that even a 9th-tier powerhouse would fall to. Be destroyed. Supernova nucleus explosion. Suzhou throws out the glittering sun heart in his hand. The next moment, the entire tower space, heaven and earth, are engulfed by a strong light. The entire Disaster God Tower, nearly 1,000 meters high, explodes with a brilliant light. Outside the God Tower, many class-changing powerhouses gather. These people are all relatives called by those class changers who escaped from the tower, as well as guild elders. If they hadn't escaped, within the small world of the Disaster Tower, no one would know if they died. Fortunately, a black-clad gunman stepped forward and allowed them to survive. Second uncle, wait, if you see a black-clad gunman, don't fight him. If it weren't for that young man, I almost wouldn't have made it. From inside the class-changing tower, a young warrior-class man speaks. After escaping to heaven, he immediately called the strongest second uncle in his family. Is everyone here? We'll wait and rescue that gunman brother. The man, a professional thief, shouts loudly in the venue. They are all proud of Suzhou's help in escaping the Disaster Tower. The other party is probably already caught by the Frenzy Guild. They have an obligation to rescue this black-clad gunman. That little brother must not be in trouble. The Saint Commandment who escaped from the Disaster Tower makes a praying gesture. They now realize that the little brother was trying to attract the attention of those evil bandits, so that they could find a chance to escape before separating to kill the enemies. As long as the black-clad little brother can come out safely, I will marry you. A fat girl, 160 centimeters tall and 160 kilograms in weight, mumbles to herself. She saw Suzhou for the first time in the Disaster Tower and was attracted by his appearance and temperament. The Disaster Tower is located in a corner of a ruined ancient city. At this moment, this area is constantly being reached by class changers, surrounding the outside of the tower, to prevent personnel from escaping from the tower. The Disaster Tower. Why is the Disaster Tower shining all over? A sharp-eyed class changer shouts, just as everyone is discussing. Forming a strong team to force their way into the Disaster Tower, a huge change suddenly occurs. The towering, pitch-black Disaster Tower, 1,000 meters high, suddenly looks like a red-hot branding iron. Immediately afterward, the walls of the ancient tower begin to crack, and light like the sun shoots out from it. The tower is going to explode. Everyone retreat quickly. Even the most unresponsive class changer knows that a huge change has occurred inside the tower. All high-level class changers take their juniors and quickly flee the area. The Disaster Tower, which sealed the disaster beasts, reaches its peak in this burst of light. Immediately afterward, a giant mushroom cloud covering 100 miles emerges. A large wave of heat directly blows away all the buildings in the ancient city where the disaster tower is located, as well as the monsters near the flowers, plants, and trees. They are almost vaporized in an instant. How is this possible? The disaster tower was actually blown up. The disaster tower, which even top-tier class changers couldn't damage at all, actually exploded. Doesn't entering the disaster tower have small worlds? All those small worlds have been blasted apart. Fortunately, the disaster tower has small worlds that can absorb a large amount of explosive power. Otherwise, we would all be finished today. What exactly is going on? The disaster beasts shouldn't be this powerful, right? The class changers present are collectively thrown into chaos. If this huge energy wasn't absorbed by the small worlds within the disaster tower, all of them might have been buried here today. No, my black-clad gunman little brother, the fat girl, lets out a heart-wrenching cry. Her love hasn't even started and has already ended. The disaster tower experiences an unprecedented and earth-shattering explosion. The dust stirred up by the explosion covers the sky and affects an area of more than 10 miles. A large amount of dust, even rising to be side by side with the clouds in the sky, level-less equipment. Killed a Calamity Beast and actually got this kind of equipment. Sujo left the Calamity Beast tower and deactivated the bipolarization of his body, feeling extremely excited in his heart. At the end, he picked up the level-less equipment dropped by the Kue Ox Calamity Beast and stored it in his storage bracelet. This is what you call being a true lucky dog. Uncle said. A light drizzle suddenly fell on a clear day. This rain washed away large swaths of dust. Replaced by a clear blue sky, more than a dozen appeared in the sky one after another. Auspicious rainbows. The job changers present then realized that, under this explosion, the Calamity Beast must have been completely wiped out. Zishiandu will now no longer have floods or yellow disasters all year round. The crowd cheered, praising that Zishiandu Calamity Beast, which had always been like a parasite, had finally disappeared. Many people also have the black-clothed gunman who fell in the explosion issued the most sincere condolences. Achoo! When Sujo was preparing to return to Jiangchuan City, he sneezed inexplicably. It shouldn't be. How could I catch a cold with my current physique? What Sujo didn't know was that he had been regarded by other job changers as a hero who sacrificed in the inexplicable explosion. Some people even chanted the Great Compassion mantra for him. Never mind, this time's level-less equipment must be equipped first. Sujo took out a jade green ring from the storage bracelet. The jade stone pattern on the ring is engraved with a unicorn Calamity Beast. Ring of the Calamity Beast. Goyox. Category, ring. Level, level-less. Quality, calamity. Effect, mental recovery rate plus 100%. Description. Legend says that every time Kue Ox appears, it is accompanied by storms. Its body shines with the light of the sun and the moon, and its roar is as deafening as thunder. 100% mental recovery speed. Sujo saw the effect and immediately equipped this level-less ring. After his third job change, he won't need to rely on the Hope National Military Treasury. His own mental power will be enough to release awakening skills on its own. By then, with the doubled mental recovery speed of the Calamity Beast ring, Sujo estimates that after a few more job changes, his mental recovery speed will be enough for his own use. Only then will it be truly invincible mode fully activated. But the quality of special equipment is actually called Calamity. Sujo looked at the ring in his hand. The feeling of his mental power constantly recovering was excellent. He is currently limited by his level and can only wear legendary equipment under normal circumstances. And after the third job change, he can gradually possess more powerful equipment. Legendary, brave, extraordinary, noble, sacred artifact. Among them, the Calamity quality of the Calamity Beast ring does not belong to the normal equipment quality category. This may be because the Calamity Beasts in the Calamity Tower are extremely special. Your guild points have been calculated. You have obtained 120,000 guild points. A message on the personal information panel prompts the mechanical guild's point gain. These points are exactly what Sujo earned for taking on the high difficulty task of escorting supplies to the battlefield and protecting the camp. So quickly have the points been calculated. Sujo didn't expect good news to come one after another. He had heard a long time ago that the guild shop has rare props that are not often sold outside. And if you want to obtain items in the guild shop, you can only earn guild points. 120,000 guild points should be able to buy a lot of good things in the shop. Just as Sujo was preparing to check the guild shop, he didn't expect class monitor Chin Kurson's call to come right after. Hello Sujo, are you free this afternoon? Not yet. What's the matter? Before at school, didn't I say there was a class reunion? You forgot so quickly. I remembered. Wouldn't it be that there's a class reunion today? I knew it. You didn't look at the class group. Meet at Xinhui Hotel at 4 p.m. Everyone is coming. Don't be late, okay, see you then. Suzhou smiled and hung up the phone. He hasn't seen his former classmates for many years. Listening to the class reunion time mentioned by Qin Kurson, there are still 2 hours of free time. During this time, Suzhou can just take a look at the guild shop. What other good things are there to buy? The guild shop interface slowly unfolds, and a prop at the very top instantly attracted Suzhou's attention. Ring of Tsongming. Category, food. Level, limitless. Quality, sacred artifact. Effect, doubles mental recovery speed. Tianlong Nation, Nanshur City underground dark capital. The game invading reality and monsters invading human cities is actually happening. Job changers fighting monsters will inevitably affect many innocent civilians. In this case, underground cities were created. The job changer abilities in this world are powerful, so creating prosperous underground cities is not difficult. But wanting to buy a house in the underground world even costs more gold coins than on the surface. The internet even spawned a meme about the noble downtown area, the top floor of the underground dark city's commercial building. 30 foreign personnel secretly gathered around a huge oval table. They were holding a meeting at the desk, all from the Western Alliance, using the excuse of doing business in Dragon Country. Everyone has seen the big news recently, right? An extremely powerful job changer has suddenly appeared in Dragon Country. The other party may be the person we are looking for. The golden-haired youth crossed his hands, looking gloomy. With the fusion of game and reality, various countries are trying to figure out how exactly the game fused with the planet. They discovered fragments of game history, among which the fragments of game history recorded the Divine Machine class. In this era, there will be an incomparably powerful mechanical ascensionist. In order to prevent hostile countries from having this kind of class, they sent many job changers with hidden identities to lurk in one country. But who exactly is the other party? Which city are they in? We still don't know. Some other job changers present didn't mention it. He had also thought about this, but yesterday's big news in Dragon Country all appeared in different regions, making investigation like searching for a needle in a haystack. My assistant's job changed class is a detective. He has already analyzed how to find the target. The surprised man turned and gestured to his black-suited assistant. The job-changed classes in this world are divided into combat and life categories. Life-type classes include but are not limited to detective, pastry chef, blacksmith, etc. Job changers who awaken the detective class also possess stronger judgment than ordinary people. The male assistant pushed up his gold-rimmed glasses. He took out an electronic pen that could project a holographic screen and gently pressed the button. The curtain hanging on the wall presented a data image. Yesterday, a total of 200 major events occurred in Dragon Country, of which 32 major news items were related to firearms and machinery. After excluding the 32 major news items, I summarized the key major events, the male assistant said. The holographic screen on the wall then switched to the following images. These volcanic events and arena event news descriptions and recordings show that these events are all related to a masked purple-clothed gunman. As for the Cyber Guanine Spirit Lord that appeared in the Witch's Forest, someone also filmed a record in the corner of the screen. Everyone can take a look, the male assistant said, then pointed to the blurred corner of the Witch's Forest picture with a laser pointer. The video was not clear enough, but everyone present still recognized that this was the same person. The levels of everyone present are all above 6th rank, so they are very familiar with the appearance of all equipment. The monsters that appeared in the Witch's Forest were actually man-made. Everyone present reacted, and they were extremely shocked that they could easily summon a Cyber Guanine comparable to a Spirit Lord. What kind of terror and power is this? Perhaps only an 8th rank Abyss summoner sacrificing lifespan. To summon a Hell Spirit Lord can be comparable to this kind of monster. Everyone, look at today's Dragon Country and South Korea news. Cyber Guanine appeared again on the border of Mo City. The male assistant projected the latest information image again, and the words fell. The others also immediately reacted. Mo City is mainly guarded by the people of the Tianlong Country Mechanical Maze Guild. The person who can re-enter that battlefield and summon mecha is likely a member of the Mechanical Maze Guild. I believe everyone has guessed that investigating the members of the Mechanical Maze Guild in Mo City today, and filtering the professions of the guild members on the battlefield will find the person we are looking for, the male assistant said here. He slowly closed the holographic screen and stepped aside. The surprised youth then continued, currently, I have sent someone to investigate this news. I believe there will be news soon. Now we urgently need everyone to gather your countries. Strongest members lurking in Tianlong Country. As soon as the investigation results appear, immediately go and assassinate the other party. They cannot delay for a moment. After all, the upgrading speed of mechanical ascensionists is terrifyingly fast. Even being slow for half a moment is extremely detrimental to oneself. The conference attendees were from the Western Alliance. The Western Alliance is composed of many Western countries, some from the British Empire. Some are from Gaul. On the choice of strong people to send, it requires everyone's cooperation. The Void God Realm Pride Battle Tower can record the shadows of all geniuses throughout history. Ordinary genius job changers can cross several ranks in the early stage. Now facing the God-level profession mechanical ascension. I hope everyone can approach all the men of Lake Lusac. Be sure to make everyone present be on high alert. How big can the strength gap between geniuses and ordinary people be? In the year 2000, a math problem that mathematicians around the world couldn't solve was solved by mathematician Gauss in one night. Afterwards, he said embarrassedly, "Sorry, teacher, it took me so long." Come on. A math problem that no one in the world could solve in 2000. You solved it in one night. Even so-called provincial and national top scorers can only see the back of the mathematician Gauss, the true genius. Even while still in school, he's comparable to 2,000 years of effort from an ordinary person, the strength of a God-level profession. It wouldn't be an exaggeration to say they're robbers in everyone's old home, but it's a pity that top experts can't enter Dragon Country. Even if they get to Dragon Country, they will be monitored. Fortunately, their strength is not to be trifled with. They have enough capital to challenge mechanical fashing. My Goryeo country can gather 28 6th-rank experts lurking within Tianlong country. 9 7th-rank experts. Our Han's country can gather 13 7th-rank experts, 2 8th-rank experts. All the Windmill country's experts placed within Tianlong country also include 12 6th-rank job changers. Representatives from various Western Alliance countries revealed their assets one after another. They understand that if they don't quickly eliminate this terrifying existence, they'll never have another chance to target. This time the Western Alliance countries truly made an all-out effort, deploying resources without reservation. In the eyes of world-class experts, these people are not worth fearing, but you must know that the current level of mechanical fashing isn't that high either. Very good. Our undefeated empire can dispatch a total of 2 8th-rank experts and 15 7th-rank experts. The youth of law also revealed the forces behind them. Sharp gazes flashed in the eyes of the various Western Alliance representatives. Through video, they estimated the strength of that powerful knight to be within kill range. The top experts they have lurking in Dragon Country. Total 4 8th-rank experts, 4 times stronger than the opponent. We need to plan the timing of our action. To ensure foolproof success, we must arrange for the 8th-rank experts to go first and strive to kill the enemy with one blow. If something goes wrong, the 7th and 6th-rank experts will take action. The youth of law's brain worked rapidly, and he spoke. Either they don't act, or they must cause an instant kill with one strike. Launching a surprise attack for an instant kill is absolutely foolproof. The other 3 8th-rank experts. I remember they are 2 mages and 1 cleric, right? We can't put all our hopes on the assassin. The 2 mages can prevent accidents. If the battle takes place within the city and the 8th-rank assassin fails to kill the opponent instantly, the 2 8th-rank mages can immediately release forbidden spells and continue the bombardment. The 8th-rank cleric and 7th-rank personnel are enough to resist the support of Dragon Country city experts. The Western Alliance personnel present are brainstorming. They are sure they have this mechanical fashing person cornered. Even Jesus can't save him. Guild shop, Songhui sword. Category video. Level, no level. Quality, flourishing artifact. Effect, doubles mental recovery speed. Price 1 billion guild points. This price is a bit expensive, isn't it? The light in Suzhou's eyes gradually dimmed. He currently only has 120,000 points, a bit short of 1 billion. If he had this equipment, Suzhou could basically walk sideways from now on. Still, let's look at other guild equipment first, to see if there's anything suitable. Suzhou remembered this flourishing artifact equipment in his heart. He first turned his attention to other equipment. Guild shop equipment, to some extent, is better than what's on the market. Copying equipment on the exchange is easily bought out, resulting in a situation where there's a price but no supply. But guild shop equipment can be exchanged as long as you have points. Unfortunately, the prerequisite is that you must have enough points contribution. Before long, Suzhou saw another good piece of equipment in the guild shop. Eternal blue necklace. Category video. Level, quality, legendary. Effect, all attributes plus 200. Spirit plus 60% mental recovery speed. Description. The eternal blue, originally a legendary necklace, was additionally forged with 6 spirit stones by the dwarf artisan Master Tongshu. Price, 5 million guild points. So it was crafted by the dwarves. No wonder the effect is so much stronger than ordinary legendary equipment. Sujo's heart couldn't help but stir. With this equipment, he could consume mental energy to use bullet time and make objects even slower. Guild points. Sure enough, there are places to earn them. Sujo wanted to get this equipment and looked at the methods for obtaining points. Among them, participating in guild team battles is the easiest and most convenient method for him. The guild team battle description states that participants will be teleported to the Myriad Races battlefield. The Myriad Races battlefield possesses abundant resources. Each guild can establish mines in the Myriad Races battlefield to obtain amethyst stones. Amethyst stone is one of the materials for creating amethyst coins, playing a crucial role in the development of the guild's funds. Mines may be subjected to destruction or plundering by battlefield monsters or other guild members. Guild members teleported to the Myriad Races battlefield will be automatically teleported out of the battlefield after suffering fatal damage, and they will not be able to enter the Myriad Races battlefield again within 7 days. Being able to solve it with hands is the simplest, Sujo cheered inwardly. He lacks everything except the speed to instantly kill everything. Currently, the most useful equipment in the guild store for him is only a necklace, which he probably won't need for long. He will be able to earn millions of guild points to get new equipment. Now entering the Myriad Races battlefield. Detected that the Mechanical City No. 7 camp is under attack by other guilds and urgently needs guild members' help. You are being teleported to the Mechanical City Guild's No. 7 camp. What's going on? I was just about to start a guild team battle. As a result, his own guild is being attacked by other guilds. Sujo's body was enveloped by a strange light. The next moment, his whole body burst with light, arriving at the Myriad Races battlefield. Humph, 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 crackle, crackle, whoosh, whoosh. The entire camp battlefield was filled with towering flames and explosions, filled with hoarse roars and angry shouts. It turned out to be members of another top-tier magic cultivator guild. No wonder they dare to attack Mechanical City. Sujo glanced at the battlefield, representing technology, body cultivation, and magic cultivation respectively. The 3 top guilds of Heavenly Dragon Kingdom have a perfect chain of disdain. The technological chain looks down on the magical chain. What era is it? Still casting fireballs. Backward. The magical chain looks down on the body cultivation chain. What era is it? Still focusing on physical skills. Yufu. The body cultivation chain looks down on the technological chain. What era is it? Still relying on machines. Disgrace. The grudges of the 3 major guilds completely erupted in the Myriad Races battlefield. Usually, these 3 major guilds serve the Heavenly Dragon Empire domestically and are still relatively polite on the surface. But in the Myriad Races battlefield, where resources are a must-compete, and which will not cause real death, the members of the 3 guilds completely turned into mad dogs, tearing at each other from time to time. Currently attacking the Mechanical Alliance camp are members of the Magic Competition Association. Mechanical City teleported another member. Let's eliminate him directly. 5 mages in the battlefield noticed Sujo's presence. They waved their staffs. In the first instance, they launched magic light bullets. Before they could finish speaking, the magic light bullets came with unparalleled speed. Attacking Sujo. Bullet time. A streamer flashed across Sujo's eyes, slowing down all attacks infinitely. He slightly tilted his head and leaned to the side, dodging all the incoming magic light bullets. Too slow. Sujo reached out and pressed down on his cowboy hat, whispering softly. How is this possible? Magic light bullets can actually be dodged? The eyes of the 5 mages present were filled with disbelief. This is the fastest projectile magic attack they currently master. Shall time. Sujo drew out the Hell Judgment dual guns, stepping and teleporting, instantly appearing among them. He scattered wildly around like Marco Polo using his ultimate move. Bang, 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 bang. In a short breath, he eliminated the attacking members of the Magic Competition Association, earning 2,000 points. You eliminated an ultimate member of the Magic Competition Association, earning 8,000 points. You eliminated an ultimate member of the Magic Competition Association, earning 8,000 points. On the other side of the battlefield, aren't you looking down on us mages? Then let you taste the power of the Destruction Flamestorm technique. A dozen mages stood together.